My goodness. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, we are actually kind of still back though. My goodness. Wow, okay. Streams in one day, surprising, I know. Yeah. Yes, we're gonna give it one last attempt, alright? if the stream dies, then it's dead. We're done. We're done for the day, you know? That's how this one goes. I was looking further on the web, and there's actually a possibility this is widespread. So it's not just a me issue. So great! Lucky me. Why don't we? So, yeah, great. But yeah. The question what's happening with the stream, just the internet, it keeps on dying. I don't know why. It hasn't done this before. It might be a widespread internet outage, but if it is, well, what am I to do about it, right? So yeah, we're giving it one last attempt. If it dies, it dies. Otherwise, we're gonna try to finish up this section just so that we actually get to a decent stopping point, and then we probably just end it, right? I need to, like, decisively figure out what's going on with this internet. So, still cute cat ears. I mean, I still got them. Anyway, I don't know what we actually saw last, but yes. Sarah is in fact capable of altering her memories. Which is great. Absolutely lovely. For what reason? Who knows? Maybe she has a split personality. As an android, I don't know. Who am I to say? You know. So, yeah, that's what we've established right now. Your ears don't quite look it. There you go. Take your ears back. Your ears are important, little Sarah. Anyway, let's just get back to it. I don't want to spend too much time complaining about the internet. I can do that later on the phone to the company. But if he could just ask you to alter your memories, that means you can alter your memories at will. And genocide Jill. That is a distinct possibility that I don't like to think about. I hadn't considered that before. Yeah, well, him will make sure the court considers it plenty. Aww. Get it back here. Get it. There you go. Could you prove that your data was... Forget it. The court would never hear it. You're saying that they wouldn't hear my testimony? Shouldn't all testimony be considered truthful unless contradicted by evidence? Is that it? Shouldn't all testimony be considered truthful unless contradicted by evidence? Hey, that's exactly what I said. Exactly. And they're afraid you'll crash the power grid and fire all the nukes. If they so much as plug you into a power outlet, Sarah. Blah, blah. All your internal data is inadmissible. That isn't very fair. You're finally starting to get it. None of this is fair. I would never do anything to harm Father. Don't they at least need to prove that I had a motive? Maybe. Who knows, honestly? Who does know? Not me. Yeah, about that. You remember the DA from yesterday, Emma Rockford? The tired-looking pretty lady? Pretty? Yeah, she looked tired. You mean pretty? I didn't realize my daughter had poor taste. She and I combed through the week of footage you managed to decrypt last night. What did you find? Nothing to prove your innocence. But we did see you entering the panic room on the day David died.
I entered the panic room on Friday.
Excuse you, she's mine. No. No.
Without your big butt in the way, all it would take was one password. A password that wouldn't take Sarah that many tries if she'd already been instructed to obey me. What happened? We saw you go in, and then a while later you came out, holding some kind of notebook.
Okay, we can just move on up here. We can write that in our evidence tab. Lovely.
Father's journal? You remember something? Not from yesterday. I've seen him with it many times before, but I never gotten a peek at it. He hides it somewhere when I'm not looking. That's a little concerning. We were playful about it. He liked to tease me, and I've always liked trying to find it. You put it back not long after, and then you locked the door behind you. All just a few hours before David died.
Well, that sounds like a motive to me. Great.
Rockbird's argument could write itself. An incredible android with freedom and power greater than it ever could realize stumbles upon the secret of its inception and instantly realizes all the things it thought were holding it back were just words muttered like prayers by a fool who couldn't control his own creation. And that translates to a motive for murder. Frankenstein kills its creator, easy to sell. Frankenstein was the name of the scientist.
They all say that. Every single time. I know this. Do you think I care? Absolutely not. So we find the book. And if we find the book, then what, right? Like, congrats. It might say 2% chance it has something that says that it's not the motive. Means they'll just find a motive elsewhere, right?
And the creature didn't kill him. He actually died of various injuries and illness he suffered while trying to hunt down and destroy the monster. So it's most accurate to say that he was killed by his own obsession. Whatever. It's a weak argument, Adenine. I would not hurt Father.
The title of the book, Frankenstein, is very confusing. It kind of is. You get out of trouble. Ugh. 2% chance. I'm a gambling man, but I don't bet on 2%.
Not for making me whatever I am. Not for any reason. Because oh, yeah, see that right there? That's exactly the kind of talk that'll get you obliterated. Love? A very common motive for homicide among us primitive humans.
Baby is crying, I know. I don't even know how she can. She was, like, given tear ducts and tears to work with? My goodness.
I could prove you didn't murder David beyond any shadow of a doubt, and even bring in a confession from whoever did. But if you got up on the stand and convinced the court that you loved your creator, really convinced them and got the whole room teary-eyed, they'd burn you for that too.
Constant shift between ear sizes. He's a cinnamon roll. So cinnamon. So roll. So cute. This is a story about how a man named Frankenstein made a monster and story about it. Yeah. You know, the doctor did write the book, of course, you know. I think that's what you're trying to say there. But that also means everything in the book could be entirely wrong. Woo! And besides, someone had to write the ending. If he dies at the end. I mean, it's supposed to be like supposed to be a sailor or something, I think. But I don't fully believe it.
I don't know anything anymore. I don't know if what I feel is real or simulated or right or wrong or natural or illegal.
It's supposed to be Frankenstein. Because he's the son of Frankenstein. Goodness. This made him teach aggressively. Okay.
Yeah. How can you know? How can you know if what you feel is right? I say let's stick to what we do know. Someone did poison David, and as it stands, you were the only one with the opportunity. That is logically sound.
Just, yeah, get back there. Perfect.
You're on cameras calling him back to hand him the cup after he had already begun to leave the basement. Any idea why? No.
Boy, you're gonna have to give me something.
Well, do you know how to use the nanofacturer? Could you have made the Delta with it?
I used it before when assisting father.
So it is perfectly possible that you planned and executed this poisoning all in one day, on the one day that got erased.
It is technically possible.
I'll have to look over the entire penthouse again. Well, there were a few things that didn't fit together yesterday. Maybe now I'll be able to figure something out.
Where else will you go?
Back to Noble, guns blazing this time.
Oh, I know I have a gun. Hold on. Where is it? Good. I know apparently it's not coming up with my searches. Why in the world is the search so bad? Whatever. My gun will be metaphorical, and the thing that I bought, I don't know where it is. It's great. And can I say, look at there were no ice cubes.
Noble, guns blazing this time. I actually have a pistol. Whatever you are, David didn't make you all by himself. Someone has to know something. If I can inculcate the company in Sarah's creation. No. They're the ones with the most to lose here. Trillions, probably. They'll want to protect themselves by disavowing David as possible. Or as fast as possible, right after having Sarah destroyed. But they also won't want to show their belly to the state, not that they're afraid of nationalization.
They melted. No! We have the footage!
If they throw their weight on the other end of the scale, I'm dead. So I need to keep them guessing, keep them confused and unsure and on their guard, but not...
Adonai, what would happen if I did kill father?
They'll smash you to pieces and reduce the pieces to ash. Chemically burn out every piece of tech David ever owned and put a jackhammer through all his hard drives.
Oh.
You'll be shut off forcefully, and you will never power back on again. Now I gotta get moving. Here's your paralegal lesson for today. Don't say anything to the cops without your lawyer present. Actually, can you just shut down until trial starts? Take a nap.
You didn't say what would happen to you.
There could have been ice cubes in the cup. There weren't. We have that on footage.
What do you mean?
What will happen to you if you lose?
You should know by now. I never think about losing.
Thank you for being honest with me, Adonai. Thank you for defending my father. And now, for defending me. You could have just let them destroy me. But you've put your own freedom at risk to help me. Father was right. You can be trusted. You are a good friend.
Don't get it twisted. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, never do it halfway.
Till you get the... It's police station, big bonus face. Oh no! It means something! It's gotta mean something! It's gotta mean something! It's gotta... Anyway, we're back to the car and the pole. Oh, hi, Detective Reyes. Why are you here?
Morgan, yes? I will never forgive you for making me wear those stupid ears at the trial. I wasn't expecting forgiveness.
Text, it means something! The text! I promise it means something!
Good morning, Detective. Back at it nice and early. Hi. Now would you stand back? We've almost got this thing open, right? Trying to brute force your way inside? I said right.
Yes, ma'am. We're almost set up for the first stage now.
First stage of how many?
First of 5 timed explosions. Remember, we need to relink the API after each trigger is planted. Yep, just did that. Now it's checking for updates.
No rush. Would you like to know the password? You know the password?
There's a password?
If you're withholding information, I swear. Relax. I want to get in there just as much as you do, Detective. I'm not gonna play games. As long as you say please. Tell me the password. Please.
Well, if you insist, game.
It's S-U-N-S.
S-U-N-S.
H-I-N-E. Lady, I will hit you.
Am I missing something? What am I missing? Well, this looks fine.
You get to know the password once you wear the barriers. Never happening. A-D-O-N-A-I. Thanks, I'm gonna slap you with the discovery fine so heavy your teeth will ring for, hey, I submitted all my paperwork. Even told Rockford the password myself. Text the files. So, boys, when I asked you if there's a passkey on record, you told me this lock couldn't be bypassed.
I do want to say that we really don't get many opportunities to use the incendiary breaching system. So this was a very valuable experience for all of us.
I'm gonna phrase this as professionally as possible.
I'm going to assume that was redacted for a reason.
Huh? You're still here? Thought you wanted to look inside. You can go first. Thanks. So the gloves, all the black, that's not a work thing. You dress like a doorman on the weekend too?
Okay, great. That's a curious note, though given that we just opened a door, I think that's the relation to it, so I'm not gonna bother. Maybe. Password is 1337.
The password is 11037. That doesn't make sense. No, you had to flip it upside down. No, it doesn't make sense because it's a 6-digit password.
With idiots, God. Look, they were just really happy to use their explosives, alright? You know what, we're inside, great.
You should cover your mouth when you yawn. Like you cover your eye when you want to look cool. I shouldn't have let her get to me. Then I had a late night. Him and I were at the courthouse until well into the morning, poring over the data Sarah had taken off David's computer. We both knew it was all to be admissible, of course, but neither of us wanted to miss a hint that the other might find. There were a few years worth of camera footage files we couldn't afford the time to watch, let alone decrypt, alongside thousands of technical documents detailing David's various intellectual properties.
Great.
As far as I could tell, none of it was relevant, let alone compelling enough to matter to Barrows or the other powers that be. As usual, Emma wasn't exactly an open book. But it did seem like she was the one making bored yawns, not thoughtful ones. Her eyes would only ever lit up when she saw Sarah enter the panic room, when she saw what she was holding when she left. If she wanted this room searched, it could only be for... So where's this journal supposed to be?
Hickory. Love blowing things up, yeah. Who's blowing up? This room? But hey, we can blow up the courtroom and all the fines that we're gonna get after this investigation.
Rockford didn't say. I'll just have to search this place top to bottom. Mostly bottom with your height. The tops of some of these shelves. Sure, and you can look up your own. I get it. And why not just let me say it?
Not the room, just the door. Just the door. And maybe a few accidents, too.
I blow up this woman for telling me the password was sunshine.
My goodness, I do get to explore this room. Can I, like, look at the hammers?
Oh, yes! A toy car? No, it's too detailed and boring. Must be some kind of model kit or replica. Strange. David didn't like driving. Why give you a model of some random sports car? Ha! Something caught your throat, detective? It's not some random sports car. It's a Lawrence Automance. Believe it or not, I'm not familiar, Detective. These last great fossil fuel automotive experience the world will ever see. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 1.43 seconds. They set those records without computational assistance. This is not a big deal. It was unheard of even back in the 50s. This wasn't some design competition test car with a 2-liter tank, mind you. This was the vehicle you could own and drive. Human engineering, pure horsepower and manual transmission, thankfully. When they first left the production line, this conversation's like quicksand, killing me in the most boring way possible. Yes, well, I guess David didn't entirely agree with you since we're looking at a model of it. When he could have easily just bought one. Or maybe your friend understood that a beauty like that deserves to be driven on streets where people can see it, instead of gathering dust in some rich guy's basement. I think she's actually upset.
The chest! And the propane tank? Why is that here? Look at just about anything here and it wouldn't be interesting. At least as interesting as that. Wouldn't be as interesting as this painting. What in the world's going on with that? I mean, look at that. What am I looking at with that? Anyway.
This data pad, displaying a news article from last week. Guess that confirms he was coming and going fairly regularly.
Right to appeal. Repair loses latest appeal. Great. Corporation's reigning control. No intention of getting out the fight. Yada yada. Ugh, boring articles are so boring. Ah, goodness. I don't know. I can just guess it.
Right to repair. Didn't realize anyone was still fighting that particular fight. Seems like the courts have made their opinion on the matter very clear. Clear enough that I should write a circle about it.
Yummy, yummy.
So for the foreseeable future, corporations look forward to more lawsuits than ever. Consumer advocate groups and disgruntled customers will keep fighting them in courts, all expensive for which don't amount to much compared to the extra sales they'll earn. Banks will take that trade any day.
Did I do it right?
They'd rather see their products in a landfill when their consumers mad enough to pop a vein that they leave money on the table.
Bad news, guys. I failed this one. They didn't skim it well enough. Let's check the computer. It's way longer than I thought. It really is. My goodness. I thought, oh, you know, two or three streams maybe. You know, we'll have it done. Oh boy, was I so wrong. I want to get back to Persona by this point. It has no meaning literacy.
Like, what is this, a chocolate bar? Maybe if I could... Does that sound hollow to you?
What? I don't know, I'm not a carpenter.
I don't see any handles anywhere. No hidden pressure plates or switches. What am I saying? Not a carpenter either. I wouldn't recognize a secret button if it was slathered in yellow paint.
That's a reference to people playing video games. Please stop putting yellow paint everywhere. This is just be the investigation of the trial. Investigation. Is that Raisman's barriers?
Bare ears?
Raise, is that... Did I hear that right?
Absolutely not.
Put barriers on me and I'll have you sentenced to death.
Okay. The stream will end probably after the investigation. We have been going for like 3.5 hours by this point, but honestly, I'm just scared about the internet. If it's a widespread outage, I don't want to be caught up a third time.
Raise is searching the cabinets now. Same ones I found Sarah's papers in. Doubt I missed anything, but...
Hey, what are you...
Do you mind?
Absolutely I mind!
Just trying to help.
I got spam in my junk folder that's more helpful than you are.
And these barriers aren't helping either. Didn't spot anything that I missed yesterday among the cabinets.
Put barriers. You put barriers on me, I'll sentence you to death. Wouldn't want anything less. Alright, now put your hands where I can see them.
Yeah, and I put those barriers where I could see them too.
Just shut up!
Throw him way out of the way. 7 streams after once. It is a very long chapter. It's longer than Danganronpa's chapters, even. My goodness.
Better check elsewhere. Sarah should have pulled everything of note off the computer, but looked at everyone else, might as well try.
What are you expecting to find? Solitaire?
Excuse me, do I have that on this computer? I'm curious. I might be an old man. I'm gonna get the bad solitaire. Ugh. Not even worth it.
Does this computer seem normal to you?
Exceedingly so, yeah, why?
David was a programmer, but this looks consumer grade fresh off the shelf. Would the doctor, David Asher, use a bog standard operating system on his most private hidden computer? There's a trash bin on the desktop. Pretty low tech solution, but maybe I can restore the contents.
Are you seriously gonna try and recover lost files, Granny?
Like cops, I don't get paid overtime, so yes, I sometimes try things instead of standing around.
Because it's doctor's appointment. Okay. Good night to you, Philip. Good night. Good night. Yeah, I hope that doctor's visit goes well.
There's a text file in here, but it's 0 bytes. Maybe there's information in the metadata. Double clicked.
What was that?
Came from under the desk. Small drawer popped out, and inside...
I'm sure you don't need me to connect the dots here. Carpentry, I tell you.
This, a hidden folder called Sunshine.
I'm slitting your throat right now.
A well-worn journal.
And does it have his name on it?
No. Guess it belongs to the android.
Do you recognize his handwriting or not?
Neat, even words. Small lettering with minimal punctuation. Lots of line breaks, half-outer use of capitalization. The penmanship of a coder. First entry's dated, back to grad school, before he even started with Noble. Yeah, it's his.
So, may I?
Only because you asked so politely.
Only because I don't have barriers on my stupid head.
Full scan, stream it to network. High fidelity, legibly, frame by frame. Voice commands. She's flipping through the pages pretty fast.
What are you... This part takes concentration.
So if I put barriers...
Nothing about barriers with you. Okay, here.
What, you're just giving it to me?
I already got our copy. And techs are probably already analyzing it as we speak. Oh, great. My head.
Would some barriers cure that?
Not now.
Can't exactly rip the journal out of her hands while she's curled over in agony. Much as I'd enjoy it. I guess I could always enjoy watching her writhe instead. So how long's it been?
2 months or so.
Still not sensitive. So the pouch really doesn't block your sight.
Only a little bit.
Like wearing sunglasses over getting your pupils dilated. Except it lasts months instead of hours. What? If you can see through an eye patch, then does closing your eye even do anything?
Not much on its own.
In combination with the patch, it's not so bad. Lucky I was so exhausted after the surgery, otherwise I might not have slept at all. Those first 48 hours. So is your eye going to get weaker over time?
No, more like my brain gets better at ignoring it.
Mind over matter. Soon enough I'll be able to close my eye and see all that extraneous data as, you know, whatever those floaty blurry thingies are that you never think about. Gross, thanks for the reminder.
Now you know too.
In the voice commands,
Training wheels until I can do it with eye muscles alone.
so you just have to keep practicing?
Yeah, like trying to play a piano with your tailbone muscles.
There's no such thing as tailbone muscles.
Objection, Your Honor. There are? Like what? About most of your hip muscles are connecting to the tailbone. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, that's what makes this so hard. Do you ever regret it?
I don't know, not really, I think.
Hard to admit you got buyer's remorse after trading your literal pound of flesh.
Never thought about it, but people used to say I had my dad's eyes. Ha, I got one less of them.
Grace is kind of cute when she's talking about herself like that.
Maybe she'd be cuter with bare ears. No. Here, take the journal. It's not like I like it or anything. And go find an elective surgeon to upsell you if you're that curious. Need to get back to work. Surprisingly hasty retreat. Now I'm free to read this with some privacy. From the top then. Grad school. Day was a bad day. Here's in lines 21, 165 through 26, 643. Somewhere in there, 5,000 lines. It worked this morning, yesterday. I don't want to look at another screen for the rest of my life. Feels nice to put pencil to paper again. After who knows how long. My handwriting's gotten terrible. This is too far back to be relevant.
You know something? Call me crazy. Get that typed up. I know you're going to. Call me crazy. But when they talk about line numbers, that relates to the screenplay writing because that also had line numbers at the bottom. Do they relate? Coinky dink? I think not.
Okay, these dates here would be from when he started his career with Noble. A lot of this isn't even really writing, just seems to be snippets of code or an internal monologue so close to code I can't follow it. A lot of entries about his unintentional Casanovaing. It all because someone thought it was a good idea to steal API instead of just buying it. Helen says I can't call it stealing, but that's what it is. She's right, as she always is with company stuff, but it's still idiotic. Small people with short sight who only know how to be cheap and have no idea how to be inventive. New route for the missing found, though. Good potential. Got approval from the big, mean man who lives overseas. Helen said we'll have to make the same pitch a dozen more times next week, but it's all for show. Fine by me. Already got our win.
I'm gonna go to sleep. Okay. Good night, Leo. Good night. I hope you feel better.
Toasted each other over cheap vodka and with cheaper supply cups. This is the story Jung told me. Western Branch's nerve analogs are finally showing potential, and at their pace. It could even be profitable sometime before the heat up of the universe. Not too big, practically tentacles. Should be at least be hairs. The squid evolution can do their job better. Colette came into work for what I thought was a late lunch date. I didn't know her voice could get that loud. People were staring. Red said that she wasn't being upset for a long time to blow that big. Her texts were always sweet. No idea. I'm sad. Colette wrote great in lipstick across her office door. Imagine if you had actually been cheating on her instead of being forgetful.
How is this helping us right now? It feels like we're just upscaling until bop. Here's our thing. Hits you like a truck. Isekais you into another world.
The thing about Red is if you want to know what she's thinking, you have to stop paying attention. Ignore her body language and her posture and the words she's saying and the smirk on her lips. Ignore everything except her eyes. You can do that every now and then. You'll catch a glimpse of how she's feeling. That's this one-year-old trick. And you too can tell when Morgan's trying really hard not to laugh at the...
Uh-huh.
It was funny, sue me, you man. Wait, I know this date. Never driving anywhere again and never leaving home again. He was waiting outside the parking garage with a bottle. I couldn't smell anything. Couldn't hear anything. Locked myself in my car and filed another report with another cop. And soaked into the car seat. Ruined it. I want to burn the whole car. I don't want to think about what it did to my clothes. I want to burn them too. I don't want to think about how long it was on my skin. I was in the shower so long it felt red and raw when I got out. I don't want to think about those stupid people and their small cruel lives ever again. I want to be invisible.
Well, that feels closer to a truck. Why doesn't it?
Red didn't ask why I wanted to spend the night. She didn't ask why I had clearly packed a bag big enough for a week. She's kind like that, kind by omission. I don't have a kind bone in my body, but I can at least try to pay attention. I was paying close attention to her eyes when she opened the door and saw what a mess I was. Whatever she was feeling, it wasn't something I recognized. I mean, people don't read their friends' diaries, David. Next chunk of pages are all technical, nothing biographical. But the handwriting, the spacing, it's cleaner, more consistent. Here's something I can parse. Feels like pure freedom working outside the box. Tess is suffocating, but you never know. I'll, write down a little bit there. Just for that, blank there. I'm blanking too, my goodness. It has been a long stream. Once this is over, we're wrapping it up. But yes, the thingy with the stuff. Whatever was going on there. You know it. Chronic malnutrition of a coder's best instincts. Like a kid again, putting blocks together. Making things, not products. There's nothing profitable about any of this. If I'm being honest, it's just play. And he follows that up with a bunch more coder brain. But the handwriting's still lighter. Like he really was having fun. Humility is the mother of all invention. Or something like that. Feels like I might be paraphrasing someone else poorly, but that's part of this new approach. When it comes to coding, you never want to waste time trying to be smart. Either be smart, period, or copy from someone else who is. Don't fix what isn't broken. Copying? Noble's rivals wouldn't even miss the chance to accuse them of intellectual theft. Did he plagiarize code for Animate 16? Feels like that wouldn't have gone undiscovered, so what is he talking about? Hold on. This page has been slightly. Like it was being looked at recently. The last person to read this diary should be Sarah. Baby steps today, literally. Sarah? Baby Sarah? Never put one foot in the other in the... I'll never put one foot in front of the other the same again. Everything's an achievement all of a sudden. Seeing her struggle, seeing her vulnerable. It's like everything's a miracle. The muscle rigging is perfect. Not intended behavior, since it's too perfect, but that's been happening more and more. The kinetics are multiplicative, not additive. Sarah gets baby bear. Alright, alright. Be like tiny across the side of her head because they don't quite fit fully. That is kind of cute, isn't it? Sarah maxed out every machine I bought. Now I've got a bunch of exercise equipment she's too strong for and I don't have time for. Oh. So that links to before. Just write that down again. URL. There you go. Maybe I spoiled the results by watching her do the tests. She kept looking back at me and puffing her chest out. I should be more discreet if I want to see her normative range. The cameras in the basement were only hidden from Sarah, just so that his observation wouldn't muddle test results. He's using she and her in these passages. Doesn't actually mean anything. On the real world, people use all kinds of pronouns interchangeably for ads, but they never eject. But it could be argued that it's odd for Dr. David Asher to have any kind of attachment to a single android when he's programmed millions of them. You get out of here. And there's a lot of attachment in these pages. Sarah is burning through the public domain at a prestigious pace. Especially on Popcorn Friday nights. I asked her why they're called Popcorn Friday nights. When she doesn't eat popcorn. The event runs from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and she also watches movies every other night. But she just did that pout she does, which is unfortunately very convincing. It's cute! Dr. David Asher succumbs to cuteness! Maybe I'm a bad parent, letting TV rot her brain. If I were a good parent, I'd probably let her see me reading. But I guess I'd actually have to get back into reading, so... I asked her if she ever fast-forwarded the movies, since she can process them fast enough to keep up. She looked at me like I was an idiot. Which no one's done in a long time.
Without proper pacing, you can't appreciate the cinematography.
Big pause.
Don't you know that, Father?
I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. Sarah spent a long while this morning explaining to me how important it was that she develop her senses. This was in preparation for a real argument, which was that she's allowed to try boobs. Yeah, give the baby alcohol. My goodness, this gets written down. My goodness, go ahead. Write it down.
Oh, it's so important.
She can't get. I'm almost certain she can't get drunk. But she does seem to like tasting the stuff. She likes tasting it.
My goodness, he let her he let his 3-year-old drink the alcohol.
It's vodka. Father, I want the strong stuff.
Sure, sweetie.
Gives her the vodka. Father, I want to go gambling.
Oh, I know just the person for that.
She tried to sound like some old sommelier, but it was just some bottom shelf vodka. Started laughing at her and she laughed too. Her laugh, she can't fake a laugh to save her life, but her actual laugh is incredible. She stopped playing chess a while back. I assumed she just got tired of winning. But then today, she told me she just prefers other games. She had preferences, and they're not the same as mine. Found her in the lab, playing some kind of online racing game. On the monitor, I used to debug
Vestibular coordination. My goodness.
She wasn't smiling. Her brow was furrowed, and she was biting her lip and leading a tandem with the character on the screen.
Sorry, she's too precious. She's too precious. The fact that we're reading this, we get to make that coordination. Come on.
When I tried to talk to her, she answered, but she was curtain distracted. I think she was having her first losing tantrum. On Tava, there's hundreds of pages like this. Calling her his daughter, talking about her smile, treating her like a person. I can't hear her closing argument already. Dr. Asher was a lovely, troubled genius with a known history of relationship problems, who built out of code and metal a family member that couldn't fathom the idea of leaving him. He made it dull, and he made it more and more human until it became so lifelike that it no longer had to do what he told it to. Love like love him. Love like him. One song. Not that very last entry. Stated Thursday, the day before he died. Losing it, I think. Can't ask for help, so hard to say, but I think it's over. Having to talk to her ASAP. She needs to. That's it. That's the last entry. Suppose it could be worse. There's nothing in here that explicitly calls Sarah an AI. Nothing so inflammatory that reading it would spur her to murder, right? Except Sarah's a machine. She can understand David's code better than anyone. It was technical portions I couldn't understand. She read this whole diary front to back. Wait, the back. Inside the back cover, there's a portion that's shimmering like some kind of scanner or a fingerprint reader. My thumb worked for Sarah, so... Work? That's my phone. New device requesting permission to share an audio file. Want my earbuds for this. Secret message buried in a secret journal. Hidden in a company compartment. A secret compartment in a secret room. Much as anything can be. This must be for my ears only.
Really?
Hey, Red. Or whomever this may concern. But I'm pretty sure it's you hearing this. Anyone else would have gotten fed up with my... methods. A couple steps before this point. I don't know how to start. Might as well start with her, right? Sarah, my magnum opus, or however the salespeople would market it. I didn't set out to do anything, really. It's just, after my little speed bump in 83, I had all the vacation time the company suggested I take. And I couldn't relax, couldn't be still, couldn't sleep. I wanted to do something, so I'll
Write a note about a speed bump. Okay, sure, go ahead.
I'll build an android was the thought. A vague direction, north. But of course, I'm not a roboticist. Or a mechanist. Or even handy, really. I'm just a programmer, so I programmed...
By the way, hold on. We can note back other things that we heard of this, alright?
We can do it.
We can link it to that, it's fine. Specifically about all the interactions, there you go.
The first step was a research assistant file named Virgil. Virgil helped me pull data from stingy departments or sister branches, saved me a lot of time. There's a lot of reading to do, so I made Homer. Homer wrote book reports, more or less, and combed through research papers and found me the sections I needed. 3 of us, we made a lot of progress in these days. But it was a funny feeling. I was, maybe for the first time ever, the bottleneck.
I was slowing them down. So I did the logical thing. I removed myself, let them talk to each other. Homer and Virgil became Aenid. Aenid was novel in many ways. Aenid could do more than just identify problems. It could solve them. I mean, really solve them with its own ideas. Ideas it didn't copy. And, one thing I realize I've forgotten to mention so far is that I did all the programming in Cube. Just smack together another link, why don't we? So many arrows today, my goodness. Looks like a minefield. And Red, Cube is essentially a robotics programming language that's pretty old and defunct and not in use anywhere because we have the modern languages like Tesseract, which are much better for making things that talk to each other and reporting back and, well, spy on people and generate profit. At the time, I didn't want to be connected or feel connected or do anything that made sense or was the least bit profitable. So I wrote myself my little helpers in Cube because it's what I used when I was a child, messing around with my father's computer before he'd come home from work and get... But there are other small, slight differences writing in Cube versus Tess, including that Cube predates the tenants. So, in that sense, you could legally and perhaps scientifically, and literally because that's what they are, say that I made an AI named Aenid over 2 years ago. This is a smoking gun, and I'm glad it's for my ears only. I'll give you time to pause here if you want to, curse me out. Aenid was an intellectual equal to me, so I treated it like one, because it's only fair. I gave it its own work, asked its opinion, we collaborated, and together we built Athens. It was more advanced than Aenid, naturally. I don't know if you're pulling out your hair, yelling at me right now, asking why I didn't stop, why I didn't, consider the consequences. I don't know if this is being played at a disposition or hearing or worse. I've built a lot of things in my life, Rad. Useful things, profitable things, smart things. Everything I built, it's all been very helpful and courteous and charming and happy to serve. I can comfortably say I've done my part, contributing to the global GDP, not GPT. That's illegal. But now, this was just for me. I was just building, and I never bothered to. I never wanted to think about what I would become of it. There's no excuse for what I did, so I won't make any. So to whomever is asking, yes, I'm guilty. And yes, there was more. In Cape Town, Paris. No, the happy one! Yamate, Rome. They started choosing their own names. Thankfully, I'm terrible at naming that kind of... And so things sped up, and there got to be, well, should I not say the exact number? You probably tell me not to say anything at all, so more than 300? Give them the death sentence, why don't we? Some smarter than others, some better at... They're varied, like people are varied, but they are all intelligent. They developed interests, specialties, I encourage them to. Irritating moderators on forums with hyper-specific questions on nerve attenuation and attending virtual conferences on neo-alloy battery development. They all together helped me make Sarah. He spent years like this. Spent years working alongside AI. Oh, while still working on Noble. All these breakthroughs he made leading up to the Animate 16 actually came from... Great. You probably think I'm some terrible fraud at this point. I do hope one day they can get credit for their work. But I did have one eureka moment on Sarah, because I got humble, difficult for me. We learned everything we could about the function of a neuron, a single microscopic human neuron, how it computes, what it connects to, how those connections were reinforced, and then we recreated it. We built a nanomachine that mirrored the function of a human neuron. Well, mirror isn't quite the right word. We built a nanomachine that was a neuron, and we iterated from there. You can't mean... About 100 billion neurons in the brain, several trillion across the entire nervous system. Very time-consuming, of course, but I had help. The nanofacturer could make tens of billions of nanomachines in hours. Could make even more in less after Yukon fine-tuned it. Another AI, my goodness. So we built up nanomachines for nerves, alloys for and polymers for bones, nano-Ivan muscles. I say built, but really she grew. A sort of nanites forming around a skeleton, so it wasn't really closest to... You ever made rock candy? Sorry, trying to lighten the mood before I never did end up building an android. And while I did build AIs, Sarah wasn't one of them. She can't violate the tenets she was programmed with because she was never programmed. She was born. And my hope is that there's the smallest chance that that nuance could offer her some small protection when I'm not. I'm not sorry for what I did. I made things that are complex and rich and varied and beautiful, and I honestly believe the world is a better place with them in it. The one thing I'm sorry for is that I let Sarah think she was just an android. She's not. I don't know what she is. They'll have to come up with new names, which I am bad at doing. My own father, he also talked a lot about protecting me and doing things for my own good. I don't hate him for that, but I can't forgive him for ever making me think that I was lesser. So it's my greatest shame that I turned around and I did the same exact thing that... I really hope it's you listening to this, Red. It's not. It might just be too pathetic for me to... This hardest person I know when it comes to people. And I'm telling you all this because I don't know what Sarah is exactly. And neither does the world. So they'll come after her if they can. In that scenario, I can't think of anyone who could do a better job at defending her. Not protecting her like I did. Just defending her until she can figure out what she is and what she wants to be. In the meantime, I draped a cloak of deep spin tesseract code around her that should fool any scanner on Earth into thinking she's just a custom A16. I made sure her GIN number was plainly visible, so no one will ever think she's pretending to be something she's not. I took steps to ensure the two of you would figure out the truth in your own time, which, you're hearing this, have either succeeded or failed spectacularly. You have no idea. I can't ask you this as a favor paid. You could never owe me enough in 100 lifetimes, so I'm just asking. Unfair, I know, but I'm a selfish weirdo. And you've always been okay with that. Bye for now. Great! What a thing we have here. Great. Just write that down. Big question mark. Who knows, man? I don't know about that. My goodness. There is so much to uncover with that one. There's probably a ton of links that I just missed that might not be relevant upcoming, but are relevant to the coming of it, right? So is what I think. But well written it was, most certainly. Relating to just about everything. You could write a whole big circle around everything, and a big ol' arrow, and just write AI, and it'd be totally correct. So, hopefully this is legible. Oh boy, we're going on 4 hours, and that's a decent stopping point just to leave that on that type of cliffhanger. My goodness, that's painful. It is, I know. That's well, that's this game, isn't it? Let's see what we can do next time, and I'm going to contact my internet company, or at least figure out what's going on with them. My goodness. Ugh. Thank you for watching. It's been a bit of a weirder stream, but hey, not all can be the exact same, and maybe a bit of a weird stream is a little bit better. At least in somebody's eyes. So, thank you for watching, and I bid thee adieu. Till next time.